Okay, so starting with page, I'm wondering if some of you have children, an air sign and an earth sign, because I'm seeing two kids in reverse, maybe potentially not wanting you to leave around the new moon. Um, this is coming a little earlier. The new moon is actually around the 19th, but there's some cycle that you're wrapping up here in the middle of the month, Cancer. And Eight of Cups has to do with when we're feeling like we've put a lot of time, TLC, time, love, and care into something that our heart really matters to our heart. And yet we're ready to move on from that cycle. The new moon means the new beginning, and this person is heading out into a new place, a new chapter, and leaving the old behind. It doesn't mean that this has any less importance or any less relevance. It's just that this person is ready to move on to the next chapter. So I see that, but I also see that if any of you have children, there may be some resistance there. They may be like not wanting to see that, maybe breaking their hearts, because that's what's connecting this. Alternately, this could be that your old wounds are being released, that you are healing from something that looked like an old story of heartache, betrayal, disappointment, sadness. These dark clouds represent the rain here, and like having a cloud over you. You can see in the card, it's about having your heart in pain and hurting. But with it in reverse, there's two different ways that this is coming up. Is that it could be either something that you're denying, recognizing about what's hurting your heart, or it looks like a loss that you haven't processed, or it could be that there was an old loss that you're now healing from, and you're finding ways to move on from that. I'm actually seeing with Magician following it that you are coming into your power as your heart heals, maybe growing a new heart. And potentially it could have been related to a separate earth sign person, potentially younger than you, Cancer. This is Page of Coins, and this has to do with communication. This is usually representative of an earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And pages are usually the younger side. So a Page of Coins is someone who is showing up in relation to the physical world. They usually are very pragmatic. They're very studious. They study things, they're careful, they're responsible. I think of it as like the teenager who has a job and saves up money and does things in a very practical way. Like they're usually the first one to get a car among their friends because they're so responsible with their money and pragmatic. With it in the reverse, I'm seeing it as a block to some sort of communication. Maybe not, maybe there's a resistance to talking about what has hurt your heart. A number of different ways, because it's a general reading, it can show up different ways for different cancers, but those are some of the things that are coming up with that page in reverse. And in conjunction with these two pages around this Three of Swords, I really get that there is some sort of block about communication, about your old wounds that also affect or somehow intertwine with you moving on to a new stage, maybe another trip that you're taking. But there's almost like this seesaw motion between the new thing and the old thing, and an inability or fear, doubt, or resistance about communicating about it. However, with all that going on, you have this major arcana card, the I Am card, the Magician, the person who can produce the results that they see in their mind. And that's completely through your power of focus and concentration on one goal, Cancer. So you are really showing up at the beginning of the month. I'm seeing this around the full moon in Aries that we just had yesterday. Especially in regards to your career, you're killing it in many ways. Or you have the ability, you have this fire energy. That's what the red cloak represents. It's passionate. It's related to the blood, the vital energy that powers us. And what Magician does is brings things that are existent in the realm of the etheric world, the zero full energy, the realm of possibilities, and brings them down to earth, where they manifest into physical, tangible, real things that we can point to. What magician does is he takes all of the elements in front of him, the coin, the physical world, the sword, the mental world, the cup, the emotional world, and the staff, which represents that fire energy, and he brings them all together through the focus and the concentration of his will and brings them into results. So this is you, Cancer. Beginning of the month, you have an amazing amount of power, an amazing amount of drive, passion, energy, capability to bring about the results that you want. You probably are seeing that. And if you're not, you definitely, it's like you have an engine behind you saying which direction do you want to go in. Here's the keys to the car. Let's go. And it's bringing you great happiness. This is 10. This is emotional fulfillment. So whatever you're doing, Cancer, especially regarding your career and maybe potentially even how you're approaching relationships, this is the end of the rainbow. This is almost like you have arrived. And I'm really getting that with the full moon in your 10th house. Career, this is like saying, I've done it. I can, I'm in charge of my own world. I create the results that I want, and they're very satisfying. This is the pot of gold, usually at the end of the rainbow. And it can show up mostly in terms of the heart. Emotional fulfillment is what 10 of Cups is about. So you're very strong here, Cancer. There's something that may be eating away at you regarding old stuff, old hurts, wounds, betrayals, disappointments, especially in relation to kids, someone younger than you, blocking communication and wanting to move on to the next cycle. But for right now, I really see a lot of strength and power and emotional fulfillment available to you. It's really a great place to be. So don't let any of this lingering stuff affect any of this. You may need to communicate with someone in order to release this, especially, like I said, if it's someone younger than you. But I also see you getting ready for this new cycle. It potentially could even relate to that Jupiter moving into your 5th house. Maybe this is old love story and you're moving on to the next cycle. That will more likely happen around the time of the new moon, but it's kind of a similar feel with Jupiter moving into Scorpio in your 5th house. Then I do see Ace of Swords in reverse next to Page of Swords. So what both of these have in common, middle of the month, is there's some truth that's right in front of you, Cancer, that you may have a hard time acknowledging. Usually Ace of Swords is the victory of truth card, and I call this card the truth will set you free. So when this appears in the upright, it's saying you have an aha moment, a victory, a triumph, especially in relation to the way you see things, the way you think about things. This is the Excalibur sword that cuts away all of the nonsense, all of the BS, and it's clarity. With it in the reverse position, there is clarity available to you, and he's carrying the same sword here. This is the card of truth. I sometimes see this card as the words from the mouths of babes. This is the truth. You know how kids can be very honest and blunt. Page of Swords is very like that. It's like a kid carrying a knife. They just say exactly what's on their mind, whether it's cutting or not. And I kind of get the sense mid-month, Cancer, that you might not want to hear that. It might be too painful for you to hear that. Or it might be a truth. I often say when I see Ace of Swords in reverse, I'm trying not to hear that, is what I'm really hearing with this. Like, I know what's the truth. I see it for what it is. It's clear. It's right in front of me. But I'm trying to ignore that, is what Page of Swords and Ace of Swords in reverse both say. And I kind of get in the sense that it may be related to you moving on from something because of the way it either affects this page or, potentially a younger air sign. So that could be Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. But more so even, I'm seeing it as this truth that is right in front of you, but you're trying to ignore it. It may be that a truth within yourself that you really want something, but you can't possibly allow yourself to want it. This is a new beginning. Aces are always new beginnings. So it's almost like saying, I want to venture forth. It's also in line with this one magician energy, and the castle here, the 10 of coins. So it's saying capability, reward, security, but the ace is new beginning, but it's saying, I don't know, there's that new beginning right in front of me, but can I even acknowledge it? Here's the truth card saying, yes, it's here, success, reward, victory, triumph, but it's almost like you're scared of it. Are you afraid of the truth in any way? Is there something about the truth or something that's as clear as day in front of you that you have some resistance, fear, doubt to that? That's a question I have for you that the cards are kind of bringing up, Cancer. But I also see you as the Fool here, ready for new adventures. This is, it's funny, this is a very young card as well. The Fool is usually, it's the beginning of the major arcana. It's the beginning of the tarot. It's the 0 card when all things are possible. Infinite possibilities. It's the void. It's the potential energy that magician is actually calling forth into reality. If you think about where the tarot evolves, it's 0 is the void. It's when nothing is determined yet. It's all like clay that's unformed, and magician forms it into something. Magician makes something out of it. That's why he's bringing things down into reality. So what I'm seeing here is that mid-month, you may have this openness, maybe saying, I don't know if I can believe it, I don't know if I can trust it, but if you look at 10 of Cups, your emotional fulfillment is surrounded by the potential and your willingness to be open to the world, to have faith, to have trust, to go on adventures, to take a leap is really what this card is about. And magician is supporting you. Magician, that the work that you've done in your career is actually launching you to feel full and be open to embrace this new, great new, I'm kind of getting wide open places, big open sky for some reason with the sun and the Fool, and he's jumping off this cliff and he's taking this leap of faith. I really get the sense that you put yourself in this place of capability, focus, drive, and accomplishment that's allowing you to take this next leap. And that's also tied in with this card of 8 of Cups. There's some resistance, maybe influenced by some other folks, whether they're your children, whether they're younger people, perhaps a younger lover, other family members. But this is really fulfilling to you, Cancer. So I'm going to encourage you to smell that rose of like new places. This is really a carefree card. It's very playful. It's very like, doesn't have a care in the world. Goes for it. And also he's wearing that victory, the wreath of laurels. So it's saying, have passion, have openness, have innocence, have playfulness. Open yourself to realize the world is your playground, is really what I'm getting from that. You may already know that. You may just not trust it. Then towards the end of the month, this is you, Cancer, absolutely. Sometimes Queen of Cups shows up as any water sign, like Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or anyone who has the archetype of someone who is loving, intuitive, gentle, tender-hearted, connects with the whole. But I'm reading this as you, Cancer, the queen of emotion, the queen of water, of the heart. And she also is very intuitive, very loving, very tender. And I'm seeing her looking upon, 2 more children. So again, and they're in the reverse. So again, for some of you, I'm saying this is the 2 children. For some of you, this is about reunion with someone from the past and maybe not being sure about it. 6 of Cups is about sentimentality, childhood, people we know from the past, reunions. It's about the tender-hearted feeling of connecting with someone like a child, laughter, and it's the sweetness of people who make us feel like a child. I'm really seeing this as an interesting bridge between Fool, who is open-hearted, again, with the white flowers. That's what these have in common. It has innocence to it. It has sweetness, kindness, tenderness. With this in the reverse, you may be looking at someone from your past with a sense of curiosity, doubt, fear, or resistance? Not so sure is what I'm getting. Confusion, potentially. I sometimes read Six of Cups in reverse as cynicism. So be aware that this is showing up for you. This is a potential reuniting with someone from the past, or for some of you, it may be having your children, some sort of sadness, regret, doubt regarding, like, if you're going on a trip, leaving your children behind, or any sort of cynicism towards connecting with like an ex potentially. This is raising questions for you because it's in reverse. It's definitely there for you, and you have this sweet rapport with this person, or you feel like a child with them, but there are questions. There is some doubt, fear, or resistance that's showing up with Cancer, but it's still very nice energy that's coming through, especially after Fool. It really has to do with trusting and being open. Maybe you feel like you can't be open with them. I'm not sure, but think of this card when you're thinking about connecting with them. What's also coming up for you at the end of the month is 10 of coins. This is the most amount of coins that can appear on a card. This is security. This is returns on investment. This is a card of a big pile of money and security based upon good decisions having been made over time. This is like the collecting for all the work you've put in. And I really see it related to this Magician card. All this work, the focus, the concentration, you've put yourself in a nice place. I also want to say, though, with both of these in the upright, this is you and this is the castle. This is the reward. This is the couple in the castle. It's security. Are you looking away from that? Are you worried about the impact that it might have on whoever this represents? That's a question, Cancer. And you may want to look at that. Do you feel like you're walking away from security in order to attend to this? Do you feel like this isn't available to you? Because it's right here at your back. It's right here. You're connected to it. Security, abundance, prosperity, the couple who is very secure, the castle, the home, the flag crest with the family. I just want to ask you what's going on there, Cancer, because it's showing up for you. 2 10s, by the way. Look at how abundant and full these cards are. So October may be a very nice month for you. I'm really getting the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, Cancer. So then you also have the moon, which is your card. I mean, this is a Piscean card generally in the tarot, but the moon is the ruler of Cancer. This is the full moon in reverse. I often read this as you. This could be Scorpio or Cancer. It's like a lobster, but I also sometimes read it as the crab. This is a deep emotional energy that's coming up to the surface for evaluation and review. And I usually read the wolf and the dog as the wild side of us, the right brain, creative, non-logical, irrational, passionate side of us versus the dog who is the more domesticated, the more rational, logical, pragmatic side. So there are really two sides of us. And with the moon card, it means letting those deep, watery heart emotions come up for evaluation, to determine what is real, what is not real, what's permanent versus what's impermanent, what is trustworthy versus what is not trustworthy, what's illusion versus what's reality. And with the moon in reverse, it's saying there may be some confusion, there may be some fear about letting these feelings come up to evaluate what's really true for you, what you can hold on to tangibly, what is emotionally consistent for you. And I almost get it may be related to the Six of Cups person or persons. So that's also coming up. I'm going to encourage you at the end of the month of October. This is a Halloween card too. Let things come up. Even if they're buried deeply, you've got Jupiter going into Scorpio. By the time this card arrives, you'll have Jupiter in Scorpio in your house of true love, of romance. Allow those feelings to come up for evaluation, to determine what's real, what's not real, and what's permanent. That's going to be a sweet time for you to think about that, Cancer.